you're sworn in, and your family goes to the swearing in ceremony with hundreds of other attorneys, depending on what state you're in. And you know I certainly had been thinking about what was going to transpire after that, but that's really the starting point, and really allows you to make the connections and to uh, have the conversations that you need to have to set yourself up for later success. So, one of the first things that I knew that I needed to do is to get malpractice insurance. That was the first thing, before you even try to get a client. It's really critical that you get that malpractice insurance policy in place, and that it is backdated to the day that you became an attorney. So for me, that was October 6th, 2014. So uh, that's my starting point. And every other malpractice insurance policy that I have purchased has been backdated for that date, October 6th, 2014. Really important, and it's important for obvious reasons. So, um, you are a young attorney when you first become barred, maybe not in years, but in experience, you're a young attorney. And so there's definitely a possibility that you're going to make some mistakes. And uh, in order to kind of confidently go out and say, I'm gonna uh, do the deep dive, and I'm gonna go and start my own law practice, you want to have at least that assurance that if I mess something up, I'm gonna have some insurance coverage to support me, and I'm still going to be able to make progress in my law practice. So that's kind of the starting point, I would say. It's kind of the first official act. The president, when he's inaugurated, what's the first official act that he's going to do at the Oval Office? Well, that was kind of my first official act as an attorney, was to get malpractice insurance and get that into place. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into uh, just applying for malpractice insurance. It was really difficult for me to fill out those applications because I didn't know where my clients were going to come from. I knew that I wanted to have an estate planning practice, but that didn't necessarily mean I was going to only take wills and trusts and estate administration. So I didn't know exactly where I was going to get started. For example, one of my first clients was a child custody, child support issue, and I think I've only done one or two of those in my lifetime. So uh, you just don't know where those are going to come from, and you know that you're going to be open to anybody that will pay you to do legal services. So, you know, filling out what areas of practice, what percentage is going to be estate planning, what percentage of your practice will be, um, personal injury, workers' compensation, all these different other areas. Maritime law is on there. It's pretty difficult, and so it was kind of comforting for me to hear the insurance agent say, "Just give it your best guess. Don't get too hung up on it. They just want to have a general idea." Um, and so you fill that out, uh, submit it, and one of the encouraging things about applying for that is the cost of malpractice insurance. The It's kind of tiered in a way that the younger attorneys who are early on in their practice, they don't have as much in the way of premiums to pay in order to obtain a good amount of coverage. Um, and I would say you probably need to have, $250,000, maybe up to $1 million worth of coverage in order to get started, depending on the kind of practice that you're going to be in. Um, I think what I ended up having to do, as I'm thinking about this, I think I got maybe $250,000 worth of coverage, but then in order to uh, get enrolled with the Indianapolis Bar Association's lawyer referral service line, I had to up that coverage to about $1 million. And that was a big deal for me because it was like I got to triple or quadruple my coverage, you know. But that the good thing was it was still relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things. What I was paying then is not nearly what I'm paying now in malpractice insurance coverage, and it really gives you the confidence to know I can try this and do my very best. I'm going to do my due diligence, but understand I'm human, and so I'm prone to errors from time to time. I can go forth and serve clients to the best of my ability.